Trump calls Portland a war zone and orders troops into an American city. He vows they'll strike with full force if needed. But crime is falling, not rising. Oregon leaders cry abuse of power, betrayal of values. So is this security or a dangerous replay of 2020's chaos? US President Donald Trump has announced the deployment of military personnel to Portland, citing the need to protect federal immigration facilities from what the president described as domestic threats. On Truth Social, Trump said he was directing Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect ICE facilities and authorized using full force if required.
At the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I am directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I am also authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Violent crime in Portland has dropped in the first 6 months of 2025, data show. Homicides fell by 51% compared to the same period a year earlier, according to preliminary data released by the Major Cities Chiefs Association in its mid-year violent crime report. That report showed Portland had 17 homicides in the period, compared with 56 in Kentucky's Louisville and 1 to 24 in Tennessee's Memphis, which have comparable population sizes. It was unclear whether Trump's warning that US troops could use full force on the streets of Portland meant he was somehow authorizing lethal force, and if so, under what conditions. US troops are able to use force in self-defense on domestic US deployments. The Pentagon did not offer any clarification about whether Trump was deploying National Guard, active duty troops, or perhaps a mix of the two, as was the case in Los Angeles earlier this year.
We stand ready to mobilize U.S. military personnel in support of DHS operations in Portland at the President's direction. The department will provide information and updates as they become available.
Asked about the Portland decision on September 27th, Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said ICE agents needed to be protected amid protests against immigration raids. In an interview on Fox News, McLaughlin said,
"We're not going to put up with it. This administration is not playing games."
Portland Police Chief Bob Day said there had already been an increase in federal law enforcement in recent days to bolster security at the ICE facility in the city's southwest. There have been growing tensions in major US cities over Trump's aggressive immigration crackdown, days after a shooting targeting an immigration and customs enforcement facility in Dallas left 1 detainee dead and 2 others seriously wounded. On September 25th, Trump told reporters that crazy people were trying to burn buildings in Portland. Without providing any evidence, Trump said,
"They're professional agitators and anarchists."
Trump last week signed an executive order that declares the anti-fascist Antifa movement a domestic terrorist organization as part of a crackdown on what he claims is left-wing sponsored political violence. According to US law enforcement, there has never been a terrorist incident in the United States connected to Antifa. Trump first sought to designate the movement as a domestic terror organization during the nationwide George Floyd protests. The most notorious episode involving the movement occurred in Portland in August 2020, when Michael Reinhold, a self-identified Antifa supporter, shot and killed Aaron J. Danielson, a member of the far-right group Patriot Prayer. Reinhold was killed by federal and local law enforcement officers during an attempt to arrest him. US Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, wrote on X that Trump may be replaying the 2020 playbook and surging into Portland with the goal of provoking conflict and violence. Following the Trump administration's announcement of deploying federal troops to Portland, local leaders quickly pushed back. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek said at a press conference on September 27th that there is no insurrection, no threat to national security, and no need for federal troops in Portland.
In my conversations directly with President Trump and Secretary Noem, I have been abundantly clear with them that Portland and the state of Oregon believe in the rule of law, and we can manage our own local public safety needs. There is no insurrection, there is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. The members of the Oregon National Guard, their mission is to stand up and protect Oregonians, and they will do that every day, but they are not needed in the city. They are not needed here. And you can tell because you're here with me in Portland. You can see that this city is safe and calm, and it is a beautiful day to be here. For those of you who are here downtown or watching at home, you know that our city is not the place that people think it is from years ago. There's business thriving, people are coming downtown, they are enjoying this community. We have students who are ready to go see the Lion King tonight at the Keller Auditorium, people are going to the Timbers match, people are downtown shopping. Folks who are getting ready to go to work at the restaurants here that make the Rose City a culinary capital are getting ready to go to work. People are shopping. People are going to the farmers markets or at the Saturday market. Portland's doing just fine. And I made that very clear to the president this morning. Our city is a far cry from the war-ravaged community that he has posted about on social media. And I conveyed that directly to him. That we got this, we are good, we are doing fine. And I also said to him, we have to be careful not to respond to outdated media coverage or misinformation that's out there. We know what's happening in our own city, and we are doing just fine. That being said, we do face real challenges in Portland, as does the rest of the country. We're worried about the cost of living. We want our schools to do what is necessary for our students, and we want to make sure that people have good jobs and homes that they can afford. I need help for those kinds of things, and that's the kind of help I need, not having military troops from the federal government in our state. President Trump's inconceivable insistence that we need federal troops in Portland does not address the real concerns in our communities. We do not need or want federal troops in Oregon stoking fear, creating conflict, and frankly escalating a situation that is under control. Any federal takeover with military troops in our state is a threat to communities across Oregon. It violates our right to govern ourselves. It interferes with local law enforcement's ability to fulfill their mission. And frankly, it drains taxpayer resources that could be better spent elsewhere. And again, I communicated that to the president directly. Oregon is our home. It is not a military target. Any deployment would be an abuse of power and a misuse of federal troops. People across the state and across the political spectrum here in Oregon are uniting together to peacefully oppose policies that they do not agree with. I believe in free speech and the ability to lawfully and peacefully protest. And I have a message for Oregonians. Let's not take the bait. Let's not respond to what the president is trying to do. We have to raise our voices absolutely, peacefully to the things that we believe in. But I also want to say that any property damage or violence of any kind will get us nowhere and will not be tolerated. If you want to stand in opposition to the Trump administration, I would ask that you lean into supporting your community, helping people, making things better here, because that's who we are as Oregonians. And I just want to wrap up by saying I believe the president does not have the authority to deploy federal troops on state soil. I'm coordinating with Attorney General Dan Rayfield to see if any response is necessary, and we will be prepared to respond if we have to. Oregon has not requested any federal assistance, and nor do we need it.
Portland Mayor Keith Wilson described the number of troops required as 0, emphasizing that
President Trump has directed all necessary troops to Portland, Oregon. The number of necessary troops is 0 in Portland and any other American city. And let me repeat that. This is an American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a military target. The president will not find lawlessness or violence here. I've been so deeply disappointed to see the footage from a half-decade ago recycled and then recycled again. If President Trump came to Portland today, what he would find is people riding their bikes, playing sports, enjoying the sunshine, buying groceries or produce from a farmer's market, as the governor had noted. We've had hard conversations and we've done important work in the years since that footage was taken. We reformed our public safety system. We've refocused our community and on our economy. And we've redoubled our efforts to help our most vulnerable. In fact, we could use federal help for all those things I just listed. Imagine if the federal government sent hundreds of engineers or teachers or outreach workers to Portland instead of a short, expensive, and fruitless show of force.
Portland Police Chief Bob Day added that the Police Bureau remains committed to providing a steady, peaceful presence to ensure safety for all residents.
Peace for Portland. Over 3 decades, that's been a personal mission of mine as I've served the Portland Police Bureau and I've served the community. And it doesn't change just because of today's events. And it doesn't change for the Portland Police Bureau because of today's events. The men and women of the Police Bureau will continue to show up and to provide the highest level of service and safety to ensure peace for Portland, for all Portlanders. We have had an amazing year of free speech expression, and I have no doubt that will continue. We have had literally tens upon thousands of Portlanders walking the streets, in our parks, expressing their First Amendment right, their opinion, their dissidence with what they're seeing happening on a federal or even a local level. And yet we have not had rest, we have not had vandalism, we have not had challenges that we have faced in years past. We have a track record that we are demonstrating to one another and we are demonstrating to the country about how this is being done. I fully expect that to continue. I fully expect there to be more events similar to what we have been seeing, and I fully expect Portlanders to continue to show up in the manner in which they do. And I am grateful for that. It is safer for them, it is safer for our officers, it helps our community thrive, and I am in alignment with what you've already heard, encouraging that expression of free speech. Finally, this does not change in any way our performance or involvement in immigration. Portland Police Bureau continues to adhere to the rule of law. We are not engaged in immigration enforcement. We are not participating or supporting any kind of immigration administrative work. I've been very transparent with our community and our leaders. I am in regular contact with our federal leaders on the law enforcement side, just as I have been in the last 24 hours with our immigrant leaders and also protest organizers. The role of the Portland Police Bureau is to continue to remain in the middle, to continue to be a steady, peaceful presence that ensures safety for all. Peace for Portland. I'm confident we've demonstrated that, and I'm confident we will be able to continue to demonstrate that.
The announcement drew criticism from local and state officials. Congresswoman Maxine Dexter released a statement condemning the deployment of militarized federal agents, calling it an abuse of power and a betrayal of American values.
The President of the United States is directing his self-proclaimed Secretary of War to unleash militarized federal forces in an American city he disagrees with. This is an egregious abuse of power and a betrayal of our most basic American values. Authoritarians rely on fear to divide us. Portland will not give them that. We will not be intimidated. We have prepared for this moment since Trump first took office, and we will meet it with every tool available to us: litigation, legislation, and the power of peaceful public pressure. This is what Trump wants: to divide and distract a nation from his failure to make life better for working people. Do not take the bait. Stay safe, stay peaceful, and stay together.